7-0 against unbeaten Joseph Creer. He's the older fighter, he's the taller fighter, but the reach is virtually identical. And once again, Michael C. Williams.
For those joining us live on DAZN, we welcome you to the prelims tonight here at Bellator 225 as we go now to the middleweight division set for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner at 6'3", weighing in 184 pounds. His professional record undefeated at 6-0-1, fighting out of Columbus, Georgia, by way of Detroit, Michigan, Joseph "The Dark Knight" Creer. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 185.5 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated, 7 victories, no defeats. From Ninilchik, Alaska, he fights out of Portland, Oregon, presenting Austin Vanderford. And the referee in charge of the action, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner, our referee. Austin Vanderford. John has finished his last 4 fights, including his Bellator debut.
This against Cody Jones, and you can see how physically powerful Austin Vanderford is. He just cranks that arm and head choke. A lot of power. He is a handful for anyone to deal with.
Austin Vanderford, Joseph Creer. Here we go. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste. And only 96 calories. Blue gloves for 6-0-1 Joseph Creer. He will fight out of a switch stance. Austin Vanderford in the red gloves. My question to you, John, after hearing the comments of Homasi, is it a mental challenge? Will it be a mental challenge for Austin to just fight his fight and ignore what he just heard when he was standing backstage?
Oh no, once you set foot into that cage and those gates close and that referee says fight, all that is out the window. You got a man standing in front of you that wants to take your head off, and you're there to say it ain't gonna happen.
Got you. Fight your fight, get your win, and perhaps have an answer.
Big leg kick. The one thing that you'll notice when Austin Vanderford gets inside, he does keep his head in the pocket. He does keep his eyes on his opponent just like you want him to. The one thing he's going to have a hard time with Joseph Creer is that length. As far as Joseph Creer's height, you have to adjust to it.
Joseph Creer at 6'3", Vanderford at 5'11". Of course, we talked about the fact this is his first fight, heavy kick, at 185. Made his Bellator debut at 175. All of his other fights professionally at 170. But Jen talked about the fact that he has truly, throughout his fighting days, fought all over the place. And this fight is like a very long fight. This has lasted forever, this fight.
you get used to those, those quick ones. You know, when you're seeing a fighter like Austin, Austin is incredibly powerful. You can see it just in his body. The fact that he gets down to 170 pounds, that was a beautiful body kick again by Creer. And he's touching that right-hand side of Austin Vanderford. He needs to keep doing that. That will have an effect in this fight.
And he was in a very good mood, as Jen alluded to when we spoke to him at the weigh-ins yesterday, and training to fight instead of training to make weight makes a huge difference. Big takedown for Vanderford.
Nice takedown. Picks him up, brings him down. Doesn't allow the legs to go completely around his waist. Is in half guard. Takes away a lot of submissions from Joseph Creer in this position. We'll see what Joseph Creer does to get this back to a point where he can try for those submissions.
Austin has talked in the past about reaching the pinnacle at everything he has competed at. State wrestling champion, junior high, high school, national champion in college, and wants to excel to the very top as a professional mixed martial artist. Going body head here, 3 minutes into round number 1.
Well, one of the things that happens when you are a fighter and you have this guy that now you're up against, and he did get his opponent changed 3 times. And so Joseph Creer is basically a late opponent for Austin Vanderford. He just dropped his mouthpiece out, grabbed it, brought it back in. But when you look at you start to look at little things like, well, what's his credentials? And you see that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. it makes you hesitate. And do I want to bring this guy to the ground? Do I want to be in that fight on the ground with him? And once you take it there, then you get the feel of what's there, and you go, oh, I like what I feel, or I don't. And you can see by what Austin's doing right now, he's going, oh, I'm okay here. I think I'm just going to keep this on the ground and start to wear him out with a ground and pound style that is just relentless.
As I mentioned, a draw in his professional debut, 6 straight victories since that point, including a split decision win back in March of 2018 as part of one of the Bellator Supercross shows, that one in Atlanta. So Creer is officially 1-0 as a Bellator fighter.
That was a nice attempt at the pass by Austin, and you saw Creer stop it and actually brought him back into a full guard. Big shots with that left hand, though. If you're in full guard and you're going to use that, you've got to use your legs just like he is right now to extend your opponent out and don't allow him to have those free shots. Use your legs to move his body. If he's starting to throw the punch, the legs can adjust where that punch goes.
Quick elbow by Austin Vanderford. Moved to Portland when he turned professional to train at what was Gracie Baja, is now American Top Team Portland with our own JLP Sonnen and company. Final seconds of round number 1.
Now there's a nice bit of sweat, so he's slippery.
Round 2. Vanderford in the red gloves, blue gloves for Joseph Creer, who said he considers himself a ring general. The gentleman against the Dark Knight, Superman punch, and working top position again, at least for now, is Vanderford. Close guard quickly for Creer, who gets round 1, John.
Oh, no doubt about it. That was Austin Vanderford's round, and I was going to say you're going to see Austin Vanderford coming out quickly, looking for the takedown. Now, he has felt the sting of what Joseph Creer brings with his kicks and some of those shots, and he's like, I can deal with you on the ground, and I can be the guy that dictates what happens in this fight from that position, and that's exactly what he goes for.
JL talked about John Lindemann and the presence that he has had for many decades in the Pacific Northwest. An Olympic alternate years ago, 82 years old. High school coach for many of the greats in JLP Sonnen's home area.
Nice pass into half guard for Austin Vanderford. You can see he's trying to free that left leg to get it past the legs of Joseph Creer. With those legs, Joseph Creer is able to control a lot of Austin's positioning, but he's not controlling his posture, and that's why you're seeing Austin Vanderford landing these big, heavy elbows straight down.
Two-time NAIA All-American. Talked about the National Wrestling Championship in 2012 at the NAIA level. Two-time Alaska State High School Wrestling Champion. And congratulations to Austin Vanderford, who was recently inducted into the Alaska State Hall of Fame for his wrestling career.
Well, these elbows are starting to open Joseph Creer up. He's got a nice cut on his right eye. You can see that he's starting to bleed a little bit out of it, but it's the smothering and just the grind that Austin Vanderford is bringing in this fight that's starting to break down what Joseph Creer can do. Again, you see that hand coming across, and he acts like he's going for the smother and slips it off and lands a heavy elbow.
And the blood is definitely affecting the vision of Joseph Creer, John.
Yeah, and when you're seeing a guy blinking, look at that. Those blinks are telling you how the blood's affecting his eye, and it gets to the point where it's not like what people think. It almost gets gummy in your eye, and it gives a clouded effect on your vision, so you can't see clearly. And when you're used to being able to see clearly, and now it's got that film on it, it definitely can be a distraction.
Fight going according to plan thus far for Austin Vanderford. Lethal elbow in the first round, opened the cut, and then he's continued to just punish that same spot here in round number 2.
And in this position, and with what we have with sweat and now some blood from Joseph Creer, This is going to make it very, very difficult for Joseph Creer in this position. If he tries to lock up his submission, he can lock it up and lock it up pretty good. And Austin Vanderford's going to have a very good chance at getting out of it just because of how slippery he's becoming.
And great work within the guard. And you have to think this move up, at least for this fight, to 185, and that additional strength is helping Austin in this situation.
Yeah, and you can see, look, he's not tired in any fashion.
No, not at all.
He is always looking to posture. He's always looking to hit with the hand or hit with an elbow, which is telling you he's a conditioned fighter that's feeling good with what's occurring in the cage. He's the one in control of the pace. He's the one in control of the position. That's why he's the one winning the fight.
Very humble going into this matchup. Joseph Creer saying, I don't feel as though I have a true advantage over my opponent. Being someone who brags and is boastful prior to a
nice pass.
Ridiculous. He wants to adjust. Can he adjust, though, John, to this smothering performance of Vanderford?
Well, he's doing everything he can, but he has taken some big, heavy elbows and shots while on his back, and this is why, look at, the game of MMA has evolved, and it's, you cannot hold somebody in your guard and expect to not get beat up. It's just not going to happen. Guys are too good at understanding how to roll their arms over for elbows, how to put pressure and slide them, how to land those punches. And it's just a matter of it just breaks you down. You start to hesitate. You start to wait. And when you do that, you're losing.
Final seconds of a dominant round 2 for Austin Vanderford. Swelling is under the right eye.
Listen, he has nothing at his style. But don't go straight forward. Feint first, then shoot.
Normally we'll tell you that a cut under the eye is a good thing, but in this situation, I'm telling you it's not. In fact, the fight is over, Mike.
Called it.
Referee just called the fight off. Too much, one over the top, one on the bottom. Ringside physician came in, looked at it, said, nope, cannot let the fight go on, and a lot of that has to do with what he was seeing with where the fight was at and how those cuts are and what he's going to have to do to try to put those back into place and sew them up.
To make it official, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, upon the advice of the cage side physician, referee Brian Miner waves off the contest due to the cut officially. 5 minutes, round number 2, the winner by TKO, Austin Vanderford.
Dominant performance by Austin Vanderford. First fight at 85, first win at 85, then another conversation with Big John McCarthy.
185 pounds looks pretty good on you there, brother. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Not having that big weight cut and yeah, just went out and stuck to what got me here, my wrestling, and then some ground and pound. So.
Well, you started that fight looking like you wanted to actually exchange on your feet. You're working against a guy that you know is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he started landing some good body shots on you, and you took him down. What did you feel when you went down to the ground and said, oh yeah, I want to be here?
Yeah, I felt my strength. I felt like he couldn't really hang with me. Landed some good elbows off the bat, and I got one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. So, a black belt, whatever. That man right there, Fabiano Scherner. So, he's got me here, and I feel well prepared for anything.
You got called out by someone just a couple of fights ago in Sabah Homasi. He says he wants to take you on. What do you say about that?
Hey, man, I'm up for anything. Let's do it. I'm in this game to be the best in the world, and that's what I want to do.
All right, one question. Do you want it at 170 or 185?
I think 185 is our new home for sure.
Sounds good to me. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Austin Vanderford.